Sorry again. I feel like I'm the bearer of bad news when I chuck you all out of your rooms and your deep and meaningful conversations. But um, hopefully, after those presentations, that should have lots of conversation, and the little bits that I've sort of dropped in and eavesdropped in on is really engaging. And I just thank you for being as open as you have been within those rooms, really, because that's the best way for us to get that kind of learning out of this as coaches. So as I say, massive thank you for the speakers tonight. I'm hoping, I've been frantically scribbling some notes down. So obviously from Anna's perspective, how much of her playing journey is creating her coaching philosophies moving forward. I think it's really important to go back and remember what it actually was that made us fall in love with the game and why. And her bit about those memories of being on the bus, I think, is a really good thinking pot for us as coaches moving forward. Katie, I love the idea of the cogs and that element of self-reflection for us as coaches. Yeah, maybe we're doing one, but we're doing them in conjunction with each other and get us out of it for our players. So I think that kind of reflective element on the importance of the environment is a really good one for us as well. And then obviously Patricia, with the person behind the athlete, like I don't think we can ever go away from that. The importance of that is huge, and that player's psychological needs being so important. And I think the belief, you know, from being an ex-player myself, like that's massive. And I think there's a little spin-off of what Katie said, the belief we get back as coaches when we give belief to others as well. So that's probably a two-way partnership. So hopefully those have given you loads of conversations, and I thank them very, very much for their time. I wanted to finish off really with some sort of shared experiences of my coachcation. So I'll try and do this without you all reading my emails. I wanted to talk a bit about us as coaches and where we go next. And I know this is a kind of a female coaching centric conversation, but this is relevant for everybody, I think. Now, why a sheep? You're probably all thinking. It's not a bars connection. It's because I'm Welsh and we love agriculture. But hopefully it'll become relevant. I just want us to think about our development as coaches, where we started. We've already talked about why we started, but maybe what shaped us, as a bit of a leaving comment for today, really, as a bit of a passing thought and something for us to go away and reflect on. So Coach CPD, I'm not sure if anyone's seen this picture before. It's actually some sheep way out in the outback in Australia, and apparently there's no fence in this picture, so there's just a gate, and those sheep are so well conditioned that they're going to go through the gate rather than just walk through the space. So it's a bit of a funny one, and you're probably thinking, why should you put that up there, and why is there the trap of thinking? Now, I've sort of quite early on my coaching journey, ex-player, now coach men's, have quite a wide background through my days with the WRU, real high interest in high performance rugby and in the elite pathway, but also I've recently had my mind opened, I suppose, to how I coach, and am I doing the right thing, or am I just doing what I think is the right thing? So this is where it's a kind of a thought for you guys to go home and think about, really. Why do you coach the way you do? Are we challenging ourselves enough as coaches in what's out there? The world, like we've talked about already. Could we study more as coaches around that importance of environment, and a lot around us engaging players as people? So probably just put yourself in my shoes for a second. This is where I think a lot of it begins. Yeah, it's a cute picture of a lamb, and I'm keeping with the sheep theme. But if we think about our coaching journeys or our playing journeys, there's probably been a cage or a gate or a fence or something been involved for a long time, and there's probably a perception of how things should work, or a perceived journey or pathway for you as a coach, and that's, I feel, sometimes a little bit restrictive in where we are on that journey. This isn't just about female coaching. This is probably a broader reflection of where I am in my own coaching journey now, and how I reflect back on it. So in my early days of coaching, I would coach exactly how I'd been coached. I tried to deliver exactly what I'd been delivered as a player, probably just the favorite bits that I liked. Very much tell. And to go back on to Patricia's part of it, it was very much about me and what I was doing, not necessarily the outcome of the session. And I think we can probably start to challenge ourselves a lot on our coaching journeys, and where they start and how they start. So you might not be a player, you might be an academic, come from teaching, however that begins. Like, really question what shaped us in the first place, and what shaped our delivery and what shaped our philosophies. The next bit is who influences us. So prime example here of another gate and another group of sheep going through a gate, even though they don't need to go through a gate. But it's because there's a dog chasing them. So another typically Welsh scene. But this for me is a little bit probably thought-provoking on who's guided us as coaches. Have we really challenged ourselves to find other influences, or are we just following the structure of perhaps our union or World Rugby? Are we really going out there? Are we looking at other worlds? Is it the business world? Is it the academic world? Is there something else out there that can influence us to think a little bit wider and really challenge ourselves? And then really about choosing our own route as coaches. Like I said, this actually isn't a sheep. This is a goat. Get salt from a rock. Now, I thought it was pretty poignant, because when we coach, and especially when we coach within a male-oriented game potentially, or vice versa, if you're a male coach within the female game, you're going to come up against a lot of barriers. And I think it's really important for us to choose our own route and be quite reflective on that route. We're always going to face criticism, but it's how we take the criticism, and can we take constructive criticism and how we challenge that and use that as a tool really to go forward. But I think this just epitomizes, like, if you need to get there, you'll get there. You've just got to trust the journey and plan your own route out as you wish. All those pictures of random sheep mean, and you're probably thinking I'm crazy, and Katie, please don't judge me psychologically. But for me, it's about what I relate to. So I can see something like that and think, oh my God, I've been put in a box, or I've gone through a fence my whole life and I've never really questioned why I'm doing it. And I think sometimes there's barriers there for us to break down and really challenge and grow as people. We want our players to grow, but it's equally as important that we grow as coaches and that we keep relevant and we keep moving forward. So I've put development plans or IDPs or whatever your terminology might be for that, but it's basically about what you see and where you see yourself in the future. I think it's really important that we make those ours. So I've put a little origami bit on there because I came to the terminology of coaching craft, and I think it's a great way of doing it, or way of thinking of it, because it's something you always want to develop. You always want to try and get better at. We talked around languages with Anna, and it's not going to come easy to begin with. You're going to fail. You're going to try. You got to keep going. And so I put stuff, on there for me that's relevant and it means something to me. So I think making it yours, and wherever you see yourself going or wherever you see your career going as a coach, you've got to make it personal to you and the way you learn. I've seen CPDs or IDP plans that A4 sheet of paper, loads of written words. Like, for me, it doesn't work. For some, it does. I've seen some that are digital and online, which are brilliant. I've seen vision boards. I think it's really important that we plan our development as coaches in a way that's relevant for us and that engages us. Think about it. We would want to do that with our players, so we should do it with ourselves as well. The next bit is the importance of a network. Okay, so I put friend tours on there. I was hoping that one of a coach I've come across through a women's network. He came up with the idea of friend tours. So it's a mentor, but it's a friend. Okay, so hopefully these kind of platforms will make connections with you to bounce ideas off other female coaches or other male coaches to coaching within the female game, about trying stuff. It's not about having somebody tell you that's wrong, it's the wrong way of doing it. It's about sharing that idea, thrashing out ideas. Can we make a game out of it? What's the scoring system? Okay, how do I reflect on my session? What's my intention? And you have those really open conversations. Probably speaking to the converted already, but understand the importance of network and having friend tours. I think actively seek people out. We're in a world where we have social media. I know Dan and a few others who are here with us today are really active on social media. I think it's a chance for us to get out there, share, don't be afraid to drop people messages. Hopefully we'll do that at the end of this Remo where we can share some connections. I've put written papers on there. It's a new thing for me and I absolutely hate reading papers. So I've even downloaded an app which reads it out for me, which I know is absolutely shocking. Please don't judge me, Katie. But again, it's finding ways for you to learn yourself as a coach, which suits your needs and your abilities. And then I put Netflix, we live in an age now where most stuff's been made into a documentary and we can catch some really cool stuff on there as well. So don't be afraid of that network and seeking other people and finding stuff from other worlds. And then the last bit on there I put is about goal setting. So really actually giving yourself a target or a timeline can actually be really rewarding. Even if that target is to be, the first female coach of the Lions, British and Irish Lions, don't be afraid to put that target out there. I think it's really important. We've already discussed the importance of belief, but also to be really forgiving with yourself on time. A lot of us think that we can get to the end sort of straight away, but something like coaching or teaching, or when we're engaging people and developing other people is constantly being changed and developed, and being adaptable is really key to that. And I think being forgiving with your own time and where you are in your own life can be equally as important, as well as learning from those experiences that you go through. Rest and time to practice your coaching craft for me are equally or if not more important. So I'm not a big believer in thinking you suddenly get level 3 or level 4 and you're an amazing coach. I think it's really important for us to really see those connections with people and have the reflection. We talked about it in Katie's stuff, but having that ability to reflect on our own sessions and be be our own biggest critics, and constantly work on that craft. And I think sometimes having time to do that is really, really important. So if it is a chance for you to take a bit of time out, have stuff like this. We've all come out of the lockdown and been subjected to a lot of CPDs and online learning. I can speak for did so many online CPDs. I forgot my own coaching philosophies and who I was and what was important to me. So don't be afraid to take that time now, to sit back and really sort of plan out your development and how you can reflect on yourself as a coach and give yourself that time to coach and develop your coaching craft. Try stuff, you'll fail, but that's fine. That's all part of learning. So hopefully these little bits can just maybe be a bit thought-provoking for you at the end of this CPD to think, okay, listen to some really cool speakers. I've managed to share some really good conversations within the rooms. I think maybe probably those 3 things on there are key for me. And hopefully that networking will come out of something like tonight. So I'm going to try and call back into the room with Dan, if I can. To kind of sum up where we've been today and the journey so far.
So yeah, like I say, for some people this will be quite a lot. They've heard something similar before, but for others it might be all very new. And I just say at the end, we'll keep this going for kind of 10 minutes more if people want to hop around and exchange contact details. But what I would say I'd echo what Rachel said, which is it's a very personal journey, and it is all about not discounting anything. I said to Ross the other day, well, my bedside table is there's a book on active play, philosophy, wayfinding, and it's reading lots and lots of things to give you more kind of solidify your why, and then to inform your how. And I've been teaching 20 years and I still have no idea what I'm doing, if I'm honest. I know I've got a parent in here. That doesn't mean in relation to your son. I'm good at that stuff, but it's all about constantly questioning. And these kind of events are great for talking to other people, but also creating a network to communicate. So we will email out the videos of all the presenters. We'll send out all of the slides as well, and we'll send out a little survey monkey. And these things work better when we get a bit of feedback, because we'd love to do something again, but it's always best to be informed by what you guys would like. So we'd love to run something again for you. But if when you get the email, just fire us something back to kind of reinforce that. So I suppose it's for me to say a massive thank you to the people who came and gave up their evenings. Rachel, Patricia, Anna, who I know has gone off to eat sticky toffee pudding, and Katie, and also you guys as well for giving up your Sunday evenings before work on Monday. A big thank you to you guys, because without you, it's just us talking to each other, which is boring. So I suppose now just to say for Ross to shove us back on the tables, if people want to hop around, like I say, we've got 10, 15 minutes left on this and share. I'm going to go away and leave the last word to Rachel, because she's so eloquent, and I'm going to go.
Thanks, Dan. There's that bus again. Again, just from me, guys, thank you very much. It's been a real privilege to get to listen to you guys, discuss these things. This is what helps us grow as people and as coaches. So if we jump back on the rooms, like I said, we'll share all our contact details, and hopefully we'll grow this network and move it forward from there. So thanks very much for your time.